Alright guys, we're both here for this video, My Hero Academia video today, of course. Yusuf, are you there?
Yep, I'm here, bro.
In this video idea, we came up with it with our friends and you guys sent us messages on a couple of My Hero Academia theories. You know, as well as you guys know, the myth, the man, the legend, you know, Screen Rant, they did a video called 25 Naruto fan theories so crazy they might be true. So I was thinking, you know, why don't we have fun with this and flip this idea for My Hero Academia? Now with that out of the way, let's cue the intro. Alright, let's take turns, Yusuf. Yeah, I'll tell you one crazy theory and then you have to give me one back and then we discuss them. So alright, Yusuf, you know, do you remember in that episode, or you know, in the early chapters of My Hero Academia, right? They showed Bakugo's childhood with Midoriya and Bakugo bullying Midoriya with his friends, right?
Which one? The one with the weird hands or the wings?
Yeah, those two. So you know the fat one on the left in the background with the wings?
Yeah.
You know, so in chapter 55 of My Hero Academia, there is a scene of a Nomu attacking Midoriya while he stands in a crowd of people. Now, if you look at this, it looked like that Nomu specifically targeted Midoriya too, out of all the crowd of people. Why did you target him? He's like, fam, why are you bullying me?
Why you bullying me?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The theory is that the Nomu is actually Bakugo's childhood friend with the wings from the past that we know. Because in volume 7 of the My Hero Academia, there's an illustration of that childhood friend again. And then there is a comment by Horikoshi himself, the creator of the show, where he says, why did the winged Nomu pick Izuku out of the crowd of all the people? So he's questioning it himself, and he said there's something like a vague hint out there. And he said, one day I will have the chance to tell you the story of the Nomu, I promise. So if you connect the dots right, and is it just me seeing these dots?
Wow, that's actually a good theory, man. I mean, in the beginning,
that's what I'm saying.
In the beginning, I was thinking that maybe he's targeting him because that's what, you know, he was ordered to do, to target Midoriya. But maybe, you know what? You're right, because it could be that he recognized Midoriya, that he used to pick on him when he's a younger kid.
Exactly. So you know, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, we haven't seen this childhood kid anymore as well. We haven't seen him again. So this kid became a Nomu. He got kidnapped. Say nothing, fam. You know, are you mind blown right now?
Wait, did this Nomu die? Didn't this one get killed by Endeavor?
Well, oh shit, that would be kind of sad, isn't it?
Or maybe he got some of his genes and DNA was injected into someone else.
Oh yeah,
that could be another possibility.
Right.
I got another theory for you. Yeah.
Alright, so what's theory number 2 then?
Okay, so theory number 2. You know there's a traitor in UA High School and we don't know who it is yet, and everyone is speculating who that person could be, right? But what if it's President Mike? Now listen, yeah, listen, I know you're probably like, what, how can it be President Mike? My man's you know, he's like one of the main characters. He's like his buddy with, you know, with All Might and everyone. But listen, let me explain. You know his voice quirk? Yeah, what's it called? Voice. If you look into his quirk, you realize he's able to manipulate sound. I mean, he can manipulate his voice to an ultra high frequency, and possibly what could be happening is that All For One is picking up on these frequencies, yeah, and have inside information. Like, it's like if you go back to World War II in our reality, the British government, what they did is they faked frequencies because they knew the Germans were trying to tap into the communication systems. So what they did is they faked the frequency so they can give false frequencies, and that's how they won. That's one of the reasons the British won the war, because of giving out fake frequencies.
Yeah, it was a good strategy that they knew.
Yeah, but
so you're saying All For One is using a strategy and Horikoshi probably got influence.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what if it's the opposite? But like President Mike, what he's doing is he's actually relaying all the information, yeah, of what's inside the meetings and the inside, you know, them going into the UA, the trips and whatnot. Yeah, he's giving it out to All For One. He's one, and that's why All For One is always one step ahead. It makes sense, no? Oh yeah, another thing is this: President Mike was also one of the first guys to mention a traitor. What if he did this shit to manipulate everyone else? You know how you fart, right? Now listen to this analogy. Listen, yeah. You know when you fart. Yeah. What happens normally when you fart? You try to blame it on someone else because, you know, you try to make it look like that it's not you. Yeah. And people won't think, yeah, the stinking stuff was like, oh, nah. I'm not that shit analogy, bro, but you get my point, right?
Oh, and you are kind of right, because All For One has that ability. We know he has that ability where he can pick up on this frequency and he has good hearing. So you could probably picking up these messages. That is a decent theory, you know. But when I think about this deeply, I can refute this pretty quickly because when you break it down, let me break it down for you, son.
Alright, break it down.
Like, first of all, yeah, it kind of doesn't, it won't make sense within the anime because remember I did that video regarding narration in My Hero Academia.
Oh yeah.
And Deku or All Might are possibly dead. So there are 3 narrations in My Hero Academia, but in the anime they're using Present Mike's voice quirk to do the third commentary explaining quirks and situations, isn't it?
Oh yeah. True.
So why would Horikoshi, the creator of My Hero Academia, make him a villain and betray the whole school if he also commentates for the audience about everything? I mean, if you're the director and you're thinking about the anime, how am I going to direct this episode? It would be kind of weird from that point forward if he is the villain and the traitor that they would they have to replace the voice.
Oh, the theory is debunked, man. It's debunked. You got it, man. You got it. But you know what?
Because why would a villain be doing the commentary?
You know what? You got a good point, man. I'll get. You know what?
And voice. Let me debunk this a bit more.
Damn. All right, go for it.
Also, voice went to UA High School to be a hero when he was a teenager. Why would he switch sides? Because he loves the media. You know, when Aizawa and him had to go into the media, he loved it.
Yeah, he's too much of a representative, isn't it? He can't. It doesn't make sense.
If he was a villain, he wouldn't be in the limelight as much or be able to do commentary at the sports festival and stuff. So I don't know. Okay, so I got another theory for you. Theory number 3. So you know the invisible girl, right? Her name is Toru Hagakure.
Yeah.
So in My Hero Academia, they explained to us the way quirks appeared in the world, right? So the first ever person in the world to have a quirk was a glowing baby born in China. Now what if, and I seriously think this one is plausible and it makes sense, what if the invisible girl Toru is the descendant of this baby? You agree, I know quirks are hereditary, right?
Yeah, mine's at biology A level, so yeah, I understand how that shit works.
Calm down. Why do you have to defend your knowledge? Alright, so both of us know how biology works. We even have an anime with science series on this channel. So the way quirks work in My Hero Academia, and this is confirmed to be honest, is that quirks are inherited, but they can change and they can combine with other quirks with successive generations. So when you look at Todoroki, he got half and half because Endeavor wanted that shit. Now Hagakure's invisibility quirk, it could have possibly been developed and mutated from the luminescent baby. I think I'm messing that up. I'm going to call her glowing baby's quirk through generations. Because, let me explain. When you look at her abilities, she has the power to do light refraction. And that's her super move, where she is bending light through her invisible body. And Toru can blind those in her immediate vicinity with the bright flash. And she used it in the provisional hero licenses exam. And I think that was in chapter 108. So this is similar to the baby, because when the first baby was born, it was doing the same thing. It was a blinding light and it was coming from birth. So we can say through the generations, the invisible girl quirk and the abilities, it changed through time, but the core principle is still linked with the first baby.
Are you trying to say that this baby was the first person to have a quirk? So you're suggesting that some people will say all quirks descend from this baby, it's spreaded through her. And basically this baby's mutation or quirk that changed the world, and through time the whole world changed because of this one baby. Just like how Naruto with the chakra spreading happened through one source. Is that what you're trying to say?
They haven't actually explained how quirks manifested. So maybe after the first baby, it was a phenomenon in the world and it started happening throughout the world and the country, and babies started having quirks.
That's how
the culture...
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's how the culture and politics changed in accordance, because, you know, that makes more sense. And if it was just from one baby, then the way society changed, it was just too fast. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but going back to the theory you mentioned, I'll be honest. I think you got some plausibility. Do you know why? Because you said the first baby was from China, and if you go back here to Toru's statement, because I remember Toru claims that she looks like a Chinese person named Young Goofy. I'm probably pronouncing that person wrong.
Are you serious?
Yeah, she said she claims she looks like Yang Goofy and Francis Xavier mashed together. Yeah, I'm quoting this, but I remember that she did say that, so it's possible. All right, this is the last theory, and I promise you this is gonna blow your mind. You ready for this?
Of course, guys. You know, let us know in the comments if you want us to, you know, so we keep making these theory videos on a bi-weekly or monthly basis. Let us know in the comment section below. But yeah, go on my mind.
Okay, I know my last theory about President Mike being a traitor. You know, that went down the shitters, but this one, I'm gonna pick up on that one. I'm gonna find out who this traitor really is, and it starts with Monoma Neito. He is the son. He is the bastard son of All For One. Listen, yes.
Nah. Bastard done.
Listen. Okay.
What? All for one boss is so much,
Calm down.
bruv.
Listen, this is how it works. Now, Monoma Neito is the son of All For One, and obviously he's also the traitor. Now, this just keep in mind, just try to imagine that he is the actual son of All For One, and I'm gonna try to break this down from then on. Okay. So when we look at Monoma's quirk, right, it's called copy, and it allows him to duplicate and use another's quirk after coming in contact with the user. After doing so, he gains full access to the quirk he copied and can use it however he likes. This quirk also allows him to copy multiple quirks. However, obviously we know, there's one drawback, there's a 5 minutes limit to the time you can copy it. But if you connect the dots, and you could say it's similar and it sounds like All For One's power. And to be honest, it sounds much more likely that it's more similar than the invisible girl and the illuminating baby. That's how close they are, the power. Yeah?
No,
So,
you're right.
So basically, this is the theory. Monoma is an experimental child done by All For One because he was trying to replicate his own quirk but didn't come out how he wanted to. And we know that All For One is very, into biology, science. Like, he created the nomus, he did DNA testing, he did a lot of DNA insertions and whatnot. The quirk that Monoma ended up getting was not stealing quirk, he just got copy instead because All For One couldn't really replicate his own DNA perfectly. Yeah. But because of that, All For One deemed this experiment a failure because it didn't meet what he wanted. But because of the fact that it was a failure, Monoma, he grew up to have an inferiority complex and a fragile ego. Like, let's be honest, if you're born with a father like All For One and he's always looking at Shimuru as his son, look, he's always paying attention to someone else, it's possible that Monoma felt neglected and wanted more respect from his father. Therefore, he became very, egotistic and he boasts about things and whatnot.
Yeah, he does. You're right. He probably got that from, knowing the truth of his creation. And that's why you're saying he could possibly be a traitor, because he wants to win All For One's recognition and prove that he's not a failure. So he's actually worthy and the best outcome from the experimentation. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
So he is spying for All For One at the UA Academy, and he could probably copy the President Mike's voice quirk or somebody else's to monitor the meetings that the teachers and the council people are having to tell All For One.
It kind of makes sense, right? And think about it. Monoma could have been the one that told All For One about All Might being at Class A trip they were having at USJ in the beginning of Season 1. But the plan didn't work out for the villains. So this means that Monoma failed All For One and would then explain why he's such a douchebag to Class A. Because after his initial failure, his ego and personality complex were hurt. I think Monoma's character is that he wants to always prove his existence and worthiness, be better than other people. You think about it, he's the son of All For One, so he must have inherited some of his personality complexity. That's why he constantly yaps about Class 1B being better than Class 1A and does comparisons. Yeah,
because now that I'm thinking about it deeply, you could even say that he is the one that told the League of Villains to target Bakugo too, because he hates Class 1A, like you said, and he knows Bakugo's personality is getting angry easily or wanting to be number one all the time. He actually kind of represents Class 1A because he won. He won the exam and he came first at the festival. So everyone knows who Bakugo is, and Bakugo even gets recognized by the public sometimes. So by targeting him and giving information on him to get kidnapped and turn into a villain, it will help Monoma because it gets rid of Class 1A's prestigious stature that they have, and it makes them look bad, and that they get into trouble all the time, and the number one student gets taken down. And it also helps the League of Villain with their whole plan to make heroes look bad and win over the public and many other things.
Midoriya and the others saved him and made him the plan fail so that they would push him even further to hate Class 1A and keep spying on the school for All For One. Like, if you think about it, when you go back to the forest training camp arc, he failed the exam against the teachers on purpose because then he would avoid being outside in the forest at night when the villains invaded. Like, what is that coincidence? Like, somehow
no, you're right.
Just like the other students, when he failed, he had to go inside when all that shit was happening. So he wasn't in getting in the way of the villains. No one would have even suspect his involvement. On top of that, it gives him the best reason to have an excuse if he does ever get accused. It was basically to avoid to avoid any mistakes or investigation that would take place on pointing him out. Imagine if he was there with the other students, but the league didn't target him at all. All the other students would notice straight away, like Midoriya or someone else. It would have messed up the whole Traitor strategy. that was going on. Go back to chapter 74 of the manga, you notice he isn't outside and training other others because he failed the exam. He pokes fun out of class 1A and says 5 people failed, but class 1B only had 1 kid failed, instead of saying I failed. This is because he didn't fail on purpose. He had to. Now,
for the plan to work out.
Because let's be honest, he has a sick quirk. If he wanted to pass, he could have passed. Now, because his
you're right.
Because
you're
of
right.
his ego and inferiority complex is so big, and is big, and his personality is basically a narcissistic person. He can't admit to anyone that he failed. He knew he could pass, but he psychologically dissociates himself from failing.
Further evidence to him being able to actually easily pass that exam, now that I think about it, because in the provisional hero license exam arc, right?
Yeah.
Class 1B, every single one of them passed, and he was the one, Neito was the one that mentioned it, that all of class 1B pulled ahead and it made him happy and everyone passed. So if they can pass that so easily, why couldn't he pass that easy exam? He was the only one that didn't pass. And in the manga, it even says that Monoma was the only one to fail and the teachers vs students exam, and it kind of reminded us of that. So why would the manga remind us of something? That's called foreshadowing. The fact that he is a traitor and is kind of giving us clues. So
this is some deep stuff.
In the future when they do reveal that he might be the traitor, we can't say that it's a plot hole, that it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, trust me, this is some real deep stuff.
That's balls deep, son. Because we as viewers, most of us already don't like this guy. He isn't that likable. So when it is revealed that he's the traitor and a villain, it kind of would make sense, and we would all be like, oh, now I know why I felt that way about him. Is this something about his character that's off-putting and we can't put our finger on? And I just googled his name quickly right now. It just took me a second.
Googling skills.
His name means mimicry, and you know what mimicry means?
No, teach me English, bro. Teach me.
Mimicry means the action or skill of imitating someone or something, especially in order to entertain or ridicule. So that's why his personality makes so much sense now, because he's pretending to be the student and he's secretly trying to be like them, but he's with the league and he's a traitor.
So his whole identity, that's what I'm saying, his whole identity is basically being fake. He's acting. He's fake.
He's like a psychopath. He's a sociopath.
Yeah, bro.
Anyway, guys, let us know in the comment section below what theory you like the most, what you agree with. If you have any other theories of your own, put it in the comments too. Also follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Alright guys, see ya. もう一度の食えけど食えけど僕の中で誰かが